why I just did one presentation today. You know, it's a bit of a gamble, but the reason why I wanted it very functionally was I wasn't sure I'll get the final attendance sheet. So there are a number of things to do once I know that all of you have subscribed to this course. So today, if I'm right, all of those who are present, I just checked in the morning when the attendance sheet came, that every one of you has actually signed on to the course, right? Last 2 days was an exposure. People came, people went, they signed here, they signed there, but we were not sure who's staying and who's going. And when you have a situation like that, you can't run a course. You can expose people, you can provide a broad orientation, but you really can't begin the course. We gave a small partial introduction. Today we will take it further. So this was a bit of an insurance I took in terms of course, otherwise I would have invited Dr. Gaba on a later date. But so far, let me get back to this. You've got exposed to 3 presentations. One from a huge corporate conglomerate based out of India. One from a very emotive, let's say, an NGO that believes a lot on emotion, which you met last time, and one today where you met a very diversified NGO. What are your broad impressions? What were the things in common between the 3 presentations? They're different kinds of organizations. One is a corporate, the other 2 are NGOs. What was common between the 3 organizations? Tell me. Yes?
They kind of want to solve the same problems.
Yes, they all want to address problems of a similar problem. Let's put it this way, similar problems. Alright? What else? Yes?
I think after their work they will help not only the people, that they will help the whole country. So India will profit from all these people when they get more education. The whole society and economy will profit.
Yes. No, what I'm saying is between these 3 organizations what was common. So one is they have the same set of interests.
Yeah, they want to improve India.
Yes. What else? There's another thing common. At least one more thing. Yes?
I think like what they do kind of really depends on what type of solidarity they start. It depends on how many people that work in there or the NGO going, so that's how it goes.
Okay. There's one more thing common. Including ITC, what is common between the 3 is NGO. This is a registered NGO, Turnstone Global. Last day we met Touch World, which is a registered NGO. But even ITC, the work they do through NGOs, if you remember. If you were there for the first class, you remember that they don't do the work by themselves. They facilitate and they work with other NGOs. So what is common between all of this is the word NGOs. So NGOs was common even though ITC is a corporate, but the work is done through NGOs. What was not common between the 3? There are a few people who have attended all 3 presentations. What was not common? We know what was common. What was not common? What was not similar between the 3? Can't be such a difficult question. Yes?
Probably the funding. ITC probably funds their own.
Absolutely. So in the case of ITC, there is some kind of assurance of funds. Okay, that's one. Yes. The other 2, of course, funds is a huge question. What else? What else? Yes. What else? There are other things that are not common. Yes.
I think the approach, the approach of today and the first presentation was quite structured and organized, and I have a feeling that the approach of the second one was more emotional.
Yes, yes, yes. So, what else? Yes? Sorry?
The number of endpoints, there are much more endpoints in this NGO compared to the...
All right, so employees. So many NGOs here, maybe some employees in the first one and very few employees in the second one. Yes. What else? What else?
Focus segment of people with this some can be very niche and some have very broad segment of people targeted.
Okay. So, so what you're saying is target segments can be niche, diversified, or broad, or niche. Yes. Okay. What else? Yes.
It belongs something to employees, but like when we had the second NGO,
Yes.
it also depended from one person mainly, and like if we have the conglomerate organization, it's like if this person, for example, is ill or is not working anymore, we can use another person and it will work the same way it works before. But like if the woman dies or is not working anymore, it's like the NGO cannot work anymore because.
All right. Yes. Then. What other things?
So the governmental support to some NGOs and not to others.
Okay, let's say yes, government support. I don't think it really came out so much, but anyway, right. Government support, yes. Does that represent more or less what we had? Does that represent more or less any other things that you thought were not common between the three? Any other issues? Yes.
The one there, one was teacher, one was a dancer, and one was working beauty.
So personalities, yes. I'll put it here. Personalities makes a difference. So I'll put it here. Personalities. Different kinds of personalities. Reasons why they started. Yes. Anything else? Introductory outline. Anything else? Yes?
The motivation behind doing or ITC might be for own benefit. For their own benefit, kind of, because whatever they were supporting that were the ones which were having, which were benefiting them as an organization. But the other NGOs, they are doing out of own.
Okay, let's say for motivation. Yes. Anything else?
achieve what is given by the Constitution. So few of the NGOs are imparting education, which is their right. But
yeah, today this word came up, rights.
yes.
Yes? That more or less sums it. Let's just carry on and see. If you remember, have we uploaded this presentation? So it's already in the courseware. Have you opened the courseware? Have you all got access? Have you all taken out the material, that is the cases and the readings? Everyone has? So this we did, if you remember. If you remember, on the first class, we did this very quickly, but we did this. First 2 slides. You remember? Do you, some of you? Sneha was there. Does it look familiar? I don't want to go through it anymore. Those of you who weren't there, you can always read it up. So it's not this way. What are the interesting features of this course? This is what we didn't talk about. So I'll come back to this list shortly. Right? There was a reason why I did it. So as you can see, sharing the experience. The guy who starts it. Alright, so you had a bit of sharing from Olakananda Roy last class. You had a sharing from Dr. Gaba today. Alright? And these are people who have actually founded the NGO. So there are those people who have this personality. We're talking of that one person who's done it. So that is a little different from if somebody from their organization had come. In today's class, as you saw, there were 2 people, of course, helping Dr. Gaba. But if you had one of them speaking, it would not have been exactly the same thing. The person who starts is very critical, as we learned from the last presentation of Olakananda Roy, as he put it very clearly. Keep your name cards out, it helps. So as he pointed out very correctly, minus Olakananda Roy, Touch World is a different case, it's a different story. So therefore it's very important that we talk to the founder, and sometimes that's the person who's the entrepreneur, the starter, the real guy who started it. When I say entrepreneur, I mean the entrepreneur in the NGO. I don't mean the business entrepreneur, okay? So I'm just clarifying this one last time, alright? The other thing is we do live sessions with NGOs. So there's a distinction between this and that. What I mean by live sessions with NGOs is, in the next class, for instance, we will have 2 or 3 presentations, okay? In fact, the next 2 classes, we will only have presentations. These are organizational presentations. These are what we call live sessions with NGOs. Why? Because they are not usually, the first organization that will come is, or one of the organizations that will come next class is CRY. Child Rights for You. Obviously, the founder of CRY will be here. It will be somebody of the organization. They'll tell you how they work, what are their objectives. It's going to be a structured presentation, but you learn about the thing. So, objective, now that we've introduced you to the world of NGOs, which we will actually do by 11:45 today, from next class we will expose you to the different sectors. These will be sectoral presentations. You will have people who take care of the elderly, you will have people who take care of children, you will have people who take care of livelihoods. So different sectors will be addressed. Like I think CRY is there, we'll also have seen it. Child in Needs Institute will be there. So it works in the sector called children. So exactly here, so you have organizations like you found today, which was very diversified. You can't call them sectoral. But from next class, you will get some live sessions with NGOs. Many of those will be sectoral. So they will emphasize one cause, one issue, above other things. Of course, some of them will do a bit of microfinance and etc., but predominantly they will be sectoral. We will have two classes like that, where between 2 and 3 NGOs will come. So what will be the format? I'll show you today. The idea behind today's, well, the last 2 classes were introductory. So far we, in a very nice way, in a live way, we exposed you to the world of NGOs. When we have live sessions, this extends, the whole idea extends, but it's not the same. Because you'll not be meeting the founder in most cases. In some cases you might, but it will just be organizational presentations. There will be a third kind of thing, which is at the, when we start our real, topics. Okay? When we present those topics, we will have case studies, but we will also have live case studies. Somebody coming and talking about that issue live. So we'll have therefore 3 or 4 kinds of interventions. One was introductory, which is over. One would be sectoral and let's say NGO presentations, which means about their organization, how they work, so that you get to know a little bit more. And then there will be issue-based NGO interventions. Okay. The last bit is assignments with grassroots NGOs. This is what we said on day 1, that you will be working with NGOs. That forms a part of the evaluation of the course. When we had this brief discussion, what makes the whole course unique? It's basically 2 things, that the real life or the real world comes to you, and secondly, you go to the real world. It's a 2-way process. First, they come to you so that your ideas, which are now clouded by, let's say, corporate thinking, gets unclouded, and then you go and work somewhere. So this is, therefore, and why do I write grassroots? That's important. Usually we don't send you to Oxfam or CARE or very, very large NGOs or Amnesty International, which are flush with funds, which have anyway got a lot of recourse. People who come here also come because they have the idea that they want to, talk about their NGOs, make it more known. They are grassroots workers. In spite of the stature of some of these people, they are not really out there. So therefore, even to introduce what they are doing, they'd like to come here. And the other motivation why they come is, they'd like some help from you in promoting their own causes and interests. Clear? Alright. So, we are, well, forget this, okay? This is a bit, this is very technical. Look at the topics that we have. So what are we going to have? We're going to have these interactions with NGOs of different kinds, which I told you. The ones that have happened, the ones that's happening, the ones that will happen. And these are some of the topics. Entrepreneurship in the social sector. Again, so role of NGOs in India's development, we'll talk about that today. Then, look at this. One of you said today, structure or lack of structure. So this relates to what? How do you manage the NGO organization? Today you talk about charisma and personalities. Alright, you already identified the issue. So you see here, we will talk about leadership in NGOs. We will talk about something like social innovation, because that can be a huge vehicle, engine. Unlike business innovation, we are going to talk about social innovation. We've already met ITC, but likewise it's a huge topic. Today you met Dr. Dara. Obviously there's some kind of partnership between them, and you asked that question, and they talked about impact assessment very briefly. But you realize that sometimes there are NGOs, sometimes there is a partnership that is there between the corporate and the NGO. Okay? It could take the form of a simple impact assessment, or like ITC, it could be a live thing where the corporate and the NGOs are walking hand in hand. What are the lessons? What are the mistakes? What is happening? And then there is activism. What is activism? Yeah, rights. That's the issue. That is activism. Alright? And And of course, strewn among all these employees will be a part of the organization, type of NGOs, diversified, broad niche we cover here, etc., etc. So you see, and of course the issue of funds will come back. How do you sustain? That again is part of managing the organization. So the issues that you are already identifying just from these presentations, 3 presentations, will be reflected in the topics that we will cover through the course. Is that clear? So you've already identified the challenges, problems, issues, common things, not so common things, and we will cover them in the various sessions. Alright, we will also have, basically since you talked about, remember the anxiety you had, what happens after you asked Olukan on the right. So, look at this. Sustainability will be something we will revisit. So, introducing sustainability-oriented approach in marketing practices. Even in NGOs, at least in some NGOs, you need marketing. Then, social business development. So, how do you create a social business? How do you develop that business? Challenges in creating inclusive business models. Scaling and sustaining social business models. And there will also be, because you are in Bengal, and remember we had that discussion on geopolitical whatever, we won't exactly do it that way, but Tagore is somebody you hear so much in Bengal, right from the chief minister to the rickshaw puller, everybody knows about it. So you'll have one session on experiments of Tagore. There will be 2 project sessions and there will be a quiz. So no end term, no mid-term examination. In fact, no examination. You'll have a quiz, you'll do assignments, etc. Okay? This is not like this, not like in this order. This, as I showed you, it's tentative. Okay? So, one project class is on the 4th of October. Right? Just make a note. 4th of October, there are 2 project classes. One of them is 4th of October. The idea is, it's just after Durga Puja and whatever, many people will not arrive, many people will be out of the city. So it's better that, and if you select, let's say, an assignment that you want to do with an NGO, it's a good time to do it after Durga Puja, between 1st and 6th. So intentionally, 4th is a project class. Okay? Another project class is late in November, before your submission of assignments. But we'll come back. Is this clear? The kind of topics that you'll be doing? Fine. So, this is in IIM, once when I first joined, and I think in the 2nd year, I realized this was the only slide people wanted to see. If there was, from an IIM student's perspective, what was the only slide they wanted the professor to show, it was this. Sir, how will you evaluate the course? Thankfully, this time I've had the luxury of showing it in the 3rd class. Alright? You didn't pester me and I didn't bother. But anyway, so this is the field work with NGOs. 40% of the course evaluation depends on this. So it has to be done seriously. Okay? It is an individual evaluation. What does that mean? If you can do 2 kinds of projects. You can do a project with an NGO, you are doing it alone. That's one. But supposing 2 or 3 people work together on an assignment, the areas must be carefully delineated or separated. That means if she is doing something together with him, her area of work and his area of work must be demarcated, must be separate. Because I will not give both the same marks. So this is clearly, and it's serious because it's 40% weightage. So don't say that, oh, he did it, sir, so I took, I did that work and now you grade me on his work. Won't work. It has to be very clear what each one of you will do. You can always combine in the interest of logistics and make it interesting for the NGO. So somebody does marketing, somebody does finance, somebody does something else for them. Website development, 3 people can work, but the 3 areas have to be carefully demarcated. Just telling you only. Okay? So this is field work with NGOs. What you have to do very quickly before we close, our last class before we close for vacation is actually next week, 20th. Before we close, I want you to suggest what you will actually do and finalize it. So I'll come back to that. You need to submit me an abstract, and on the basis of that I can approve. So whatever you want to see about NGOs, you must see and complete. On the 20th is, or before the 20th is your last. Try and do it this week. Finish off this week that this is what you want to do. Alright? Then there is case analysis. You've got that booklet. One of the two booklets that you have has cases. Is this the one? This is reading. So there's another one called cases. Alright? So we will divide you today into groups. Alright? And each group will make a presentation based on a topic. One, hello. Don't get so excited. So you will be given, and that will be a group assessment. That means the entire group will get the same, almost the same marks. Alright? Then there is class participation. What does that mean? What the meaningful comments that you make. The TTA Ramita here will make a note, and at the end of the term, based on the quality of your participation, you get something. And on the last class day, with me, you will get a 35% rating. 35% is reserved for quiz. So this is on the last class day. So is this clear more or less so far? Yeah? So there will be cases, there's field work, there's class participation, and there's quiz. This is your guest faculty. Okay? She will, he will come on, what's the date? It's 19th and 20th of November. There are 2 days, I think. 2 days. 19th and 20th, please don't schedule anything else. One of them happens to be weekend, and one of them happens to be Monday. So I think it's a Sunday and Monday, if I'm not wrong. Right? So that Sunday, do not have any picnics, anything else where you go to the city, because this guy will take 4 classes. 2 of them will be on Sunday and 2 of them will be on Monday. So if you miss, you'll have attendance issues. So therefore I'm telling you right now, project class on the 4th of October, you're not expected here. And in my class, doesn't mean you shouldn't be in IIM, but I'm just saying. But that is, you don't have to attend the class. 19th and 20th, please don't schedule anything. Visits, trips, city sightseeing, movies, be here, because otherwise you'll have attendance problems. So the guest faculty will teach you for 4 classes. So I'll take, I think, I'll take a total of, we'll have a total of 20 classes, of which 2 are project classes. Project means what? You do your take-home assignment with the NGO. We left with 18. Of the 18, 4 are with Professor Dr. Subhashish Roy. Okay? You're left with 14 with me, of which this is the 3rd class. So 11 more with me. Of the 11 more, the last class will be quiz. Is that clear now? More or less? Okay. So he is with Xavier Institute of Management Bhubaneswar, XIMB as it's popularly known in our country. He's worked 21 years in corporate academia, 8 years in business development for leading MNCs in developing countries. He's worked on marketing, sustainability and CSR in more than 15 countries in 50 business schools and whatever. Okay? So this is his profile. These are some of the universities he's worked in. So these are his the courses he teaches. Yeah?
before this next week, we have to decide which NGO we have to work on.
Yes,
only right.
So, projects. So we'll put it up today. Just wait. So I've just told you, I finished the introductory presentation. Now I'll show you some of the suggested project titles. You can also do something on your own with somebody else. So I'm not forcing you that you must select from these. Okay? So effectively, you can do these topics. We could not include the ones Dr. Gaba has given. She gave some 4 or 5 at the end. Did you see? Skilling. There was something, the last slide. So you will see that. That will also be uploaded on Wednesday, so you can see that. Alright? Or before. But just see it now. Projects. No, you show the previous one. Not here. Okay. So we will upload the other project titles. So Ramita, I'll send it to you today. Okay, including Dr. Gaba's thing. We already have, we don't have any list here. So let me just have a discussion on the thing. Alright. So while he's doing that, I'll show you the kind of projects that we've already got. We'll have roughly about 25 project titles already. Some more organizations will give, a few, right? But 25 is a good number because you are 53. So you can immediately, if 2 people form a group, you can start selecting some. Some of you might have some ideas already. So on that basis it can happen, but a few organizations will come up with other things. That's another story. So that uploading will happen. I'll try and show you some things from this computer. Anyway, while we are at it, we have how many presentations, how many cases? No, how many cases do you have? Let's see. Just count the session title. So what we'll do is we'll actually make groups with you. We'll actually make groups. Today I'll make it together with her and we will put it up. Okay? These groups will make the various presentations. The first presentation date is 20th. So it's not next class or the class after that, but it's on 20th. That is the first, what I was telling you, session which is based on a topic. That topic will be leadership in NGOs. So the group 1 will make that presentation. The class structure, so the next 2 classes will be interactions with NGOs. That's very clear with you. Let me revisit once what exactly will happen. Unlike the last 3 classes, the structure will be each NGO will make a presentation of say 20 minutes. So that takes care of 1 hour. Balance half an hour will be, they will sit in, let's say, 3 corners of this room. You are free to go and ask them questions and finalize your projects, if you want to work with them. Alternatively, you will also have a set of projects which we will upload for you. Clear? So this is the structure for Wednesday and Monday. For the 20th, there will be an eminent doctor who will come. He will make a presentation on NGO leadership. But that is not all, there will be also a case. So the class will go like this. You will look at the leadership elements of NGOs from that particular case, the group assigned to it, make the presentation. This gentleman will make comments and then make his presentation on the NGO he runs and the leadership lessons that has happened. Based on those 2, in that class or later, I will sum up and talk about leadership in NGOs in general. So are you getting a hang of what's going to happen? More or less? Okay. So that's basically it. So by say Wednesday latest, you will know the groups that will present what. You know, of course, I will not give you all the cases, but what I'll give you is at least the first case, who's presenting. That you know, because after 20th, the next presentation will be in October. So those details I'll share with you later this month. But for 20th, I will show it. And for the other important thing is, you can talk to these NGOs, interact, and if you have any questions, if you want to work with them, you can actually, these 6 NGOs, you can talk to them. And I will also upload the suggested list of project titles for you to see. So start thinking about it and finalize it very quickly. Because this is a space of time between after 20th when I meet, when I am done with you, and 9th I will meet you again. So how many days are we talking about? We're talking about 18 days. That's a long time. You could have finished your work with the NGO. You understand what I'm saying? This kind of time you will not get later in the course. If you leave it hanging, then what will happen is, it will not happen at all. And at the last minute in November, some of you will be running, sir, the NGO is not listening to me, I was caught up in this other coursework, and then you'll get very, very poor marks. So the first job in this course is, now today is the first day when I get you all together as a class, please finalize your project. Okay, don't leave it for any imagination later on. So these are 2 very important things that or 2 or 3 very important things. What do you have to do for that? You have to submit an abstract. So when you decide on this NGO, contact details will be given to you. So you can contact the NGO either on your own or whatever. Go to their office, quickly firm it up over the next 1 week and submit the abstract. This is what I want to do. This is a group of 2 or 3 people who will work on this. This is what X will do, Y will do, Z will do. This is the name of the person from the NGO who is going to coordinate my project. And this is my date of submission. This is what I want to do. Everything. So this is, see the kind of assignments that are there. This will be uploaded, okay, by Ramita on the courseware. So look at this. CINI, Child in Need Institute, is looking for website design. What they mean is not that you will actually do a fresh website. You can review their existing website and suggest improvements. So it's not that you are required to start a website from scratch. You review the website and you can suggest improvements. Second thing they've suggested is communication strategy to attract prospective donors both in country and foreign. Online fundraising strategy. Then internship training program, designing that for Indian and foreign students. They have one, but they want a critical review of the current program and suggest an improved version. CRI will inform on Wednesday. So when they are here, this is Child Rights for You. So they will basically tell us. Organic works on organic stuff. They are looking for website design. Website design for organic bulk and whatever F&B is supposed to mean. A business plan for organic food and vegetables in Kolkata. Marketing plan for organic staples on Amazon. Okay, so you can actually sign up right now. Read it up and firm it up when they are here. When is organic coming? They are not coming. So basically look up their website, you can see that. Then there is Sasha. Sasha is a fair trade organization, one of the prominent ones across the world. Coincidentally, they are based out of Kolkata. Originally they were called Sarva Shanti Ayog, but anyway. So Sasha, so China market leads for quality Indian crafts and textiles is certainly one of the assignments. If a strategic plan can be added, that would be perfect. So they are looking for how to penetrate the Chinese market, market potential for ethical, handcrafted, fair trade products in China, marketing channels in domestic market for handicrafts and handloom. So there's a bit of an overlap. I think this is probably not number one. When we probably did it, so forget the number one here. So this is more this one. CSR action plan to access government, public sector undertaking. So you can see activity-based business capacity building, training modules for micro enterprises. This will require interaction with the NGO. But you can, based on your areas of interest, your capabilities, suggest what you want to do. Okay? So look at that. Templates, formats for needs assessment, scaling up, evaluation for small businesses. Remember we talked of impact assessment just today? So if you feel that you're up to it, this is something. People who have worked previously in NGOs know how to do impact assessment studies. So if somebody knows that, you can do that. Alternatives for low-cost effluent water treatment with approximate costs. Alternative solutions for use of renewable energy in communities, for household and small businesses. SOP manual for body care products, SOP manual for gourmet spices. So we already have quite a few here. Add to it the one that was suggested today. Now the other thing, so you get a hang of this. So try and quickly say, let's have a class representative. Who will be a class representative? Anybody? Volunteers? Well, I'm coming. So anyway, how soon can you submit from this list? Can you do it by Wednesday? Today is Monday. Can you discuss amongst yourselves and give a tentative plan to her by Wednesday before the class begins?
But you do need to submit that strategy.
Select a topic, and at least then I know that you've thought through it and you thought this is the one. So you already have about 20-25, so you can, and they are fairly extensive projects. Most of them will need more than one person. Classes are 53. So if you have about 20 projects or 17, 18 projects, it's good enough for, between 18 and 20 projects all together in the class. Submit to Ramita before Wednesday. Who will do what? This will be uploaded immediately. Okay? So Ramita, you do some corrections here, because this is all come on mail, like I saw some. So just put it up nicely. Add, let's say the thing. Cry will give it the next class. So put it up on the coursework. Yes. Please. No, you submit it to Ramita now. Ramita will moderate that. We will get back to you. So in this course, you see, there are a lot of these interactions that will happen. Ramita is the lady who does the whole thing here, this kind of coordination. If she sees that too many people are, so ideally what you need to do is give a preference, priority number one, number two. So too many people are taking number one, then you can always go for number two. Clear? So that assigning she will do. By Thursday, you will get to know. Okay.
This is to be done individually or?
No, of course the evaluation is individual, but did you see the kind of...
the priority which you are asking for has to be given individually?
Yes, the priority will be given individually, but you save, or you can give 2 or 2 or 3 of you can together send a mail, there is no problem.
Okay, so we can form a group ourselves?
Yes, you form a group yourself. I am not going to form your group, but in cases I will form the group. In this assignment, it's up to you.
So this is 40% fieldwork with the NGO.
My only thing I would insist on is, because we have a mix of Indian and foreign students, make the group such that it's about as both. Foreign students and Indian students. For a very simple reason. Because Indians speak the language, the foreign students don't. So when you are traveling outside Joka, going somewhere, it's always convenient for the foreign student to team up with an Indian student. Because you can explain to the taxi, to the bus, to whoever, talk to the local people there, you have to talk the local lingo or Hindi, that kind of thing.
So all these projects are from NGOs in Calcutta?
Mostly they are mostly they are from Calcutta. So anyway, so this is it, and some of them have not given in, but you might not even need. So Bonzan has not given anything.
Yes.
Huh? Let's ask them once they'll give anything. We'll see. But I think if it is all, so there are some more here. So total how many projects do we have? Let's count and see roughly. 4 and 3, 7 and say 10, 17, that's 1, 18 and 3, 21. 21 and 4, 25. So 25 projects is good enough. You won't need more. So the cry is also there, then 25, then you've got 4 from these people. 29, cry will give another 2 or 3, so that's more than 30 already. So more than 30 projects are already there. Yes.
When you say website design, do you also mean that we build a prototype for them?
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
No, Sini was very careful. They said that you can comment and you can improve.
Okay, but we don't have to build any. We don't have to give them.
No, that's not what Sini is asking. Durbar has asked for website design. These people have asked.
Designing something they have already their website, but more or less
Yeah, so basically they want, these are all comments and, but you know, I guess it has to be something intensive. You just can't write, you must do this, you must do that and get 40 out of them. That won't happen. You have to do something concrete. Yes, yes. It has to happen. You are not expected to actually launch the website.
Yeah, I get it. So it's a prototype. Yeah.
So you can do, so these projects obviously will need more than one person. It's not, none of these projects can be done by one person alone. It's too much of work. So divide it among 2 people, 1 STEP student, 1 Indian student, and I think you have it. So already potentially there are 30 projects in the pipeline, and there are 53 students, so there should be no problem.
So what are the maximum team members they are supposed to?
Not more than 3. Definitely not more than 3, preferably 2. Okay, so because you see it's a serious thing, and that's why I'm asking, please do it now. If in November you wake up, then the marks in this course is definitely going to be bad, because there won't be time to work, the NGO won't listen to you, all those kinds of issues will come. And these NGOs, you can always look up the web and find out who they are. You will also meet many of them here, but don't wait for it. Is that clear? Now the most important, the other important thing is, on 20th, you will be meeting this Moinapur Rural Health Foundation. So this is the gentleman who will come and speak to you on leadership in NGOs. Very, very charismatic person. Okay. So they have a they are trying to build a model rural healthcare center in a village in Bankura district. And they have a camp, health camp on 1st and 2nd October. There. Am I right? 1st and 2nd October? So the gentleman has actually even provisionally booked hotel guest rooms. People take you seriously. I don't know whether you take yourself seriously, but the people who come to this course take you seriously. So the point is, if you are going, I hope somebody will go. It's a model, developing a model for rural healthcare. Okay? So he just wants to know who, because train tickets have to be purchased. And this is puja time, it will be very difficult to get tickets. So if you are, at least 2 of you are, last year there were some people who did it and they were interested, so they want to take it further from that. You know, it's an extremely good thing, rural healthcare model. And you will be done in 2 days. That's the other attractive thing. So Moinapur Healthcare Foundation, you can visit them, come back, interact with the doctor in Kolkata and come up with the healthcare model. So my suggestion is, those who have not made plans to just have endless fun during the holidays, can please finish the NGO assignment before coming to, at least the field work will be over. You can then keep on interacting. Some people will have problems, so the earlier you start, it's better. Some people will have problems because in pujas it will close down. Okay? So I want quickly 2 volunteers for Moinapur because I have to let him know by Wednesday so that 2 tickets can be booked by train. It's an overnight train to Bankura. And you'll be staying there and you'll be coming. Yes?
Location.
You want to go? With whom? It should be at least another person. No, I can't decide that. You have to find somebody. See, this one also depends on some kind of personal chemistry. I can't, put you with somebody. This is not just discussing a case. This is actually working together. So figure out who.
I'm in a state, so I have to choose anything like a local student.
Yes, if you are step, then choose a local student. But I think you speak the language, or you don't?
I do.
So which language do you speak? Hindi?
Hindi, Kannada.
Kannada won't help in Bangladesh. Hindi is the best case scenario. Anyway, figure it out and let Ramita know.
I can take this shape.
No. So if you speak the language is the issue. But if you are, if you get somebody who's Bengali speaking, that would be wonderful. Because Bankura is a remote district and yes, any other questions? No? So that's where we are. I think you've got an idea, hang of the course. Any questions on evaluation, course, groups, anything? So from my side, I will upload these titles. Okay? After adding Dr. Gaba's works, alright, just edit it a little bit, okay? And then the second thing will be, I'll also upload the group thing. That I'll do on Wednesday, or in between, okay? Thank you. Thank you very much.